Hi everyone, welcome to 6th, 7th, 8th channel of Byju's. I am your teacher Ankita and I welcome you in this very special session. In today's class, we will be discussing the questions from the NCERT exercise for the chapter Getting to Know Plants. It's a very interesting chapter. In this particular session, we will be discussing the question, right? We'll be seeing that how we can write the answer in the examination, and apart from that, there will be a very quick recap of the whole chapter. So I hope that all of you are excited and I hope that you are very ready for this amazing session. I hope that you're sitting with your notebook and your pen so that you can note down all the important points that we will be discussing. And on that note, we will be starting just now. Before we start our session, if you're watching this video for the very first time, welcome to our channel. Take this moment and do subscribe to our amazing channel. We will be reaching really very soon to the 50k and we want you to be a part of our family. So take a moment, hit the like button for the video and then share with your friends and subscribe to this interesting and super amazing channel. Apart from that, right, where we have the education, right, and amazing sessions, we have something really very special for you. So if you want to become more confident in speaking English, we have certified Cambridge teachers that will be helping you in building that confidence. We have this amazing course for all of you, right? And you can register for it by clicking on the link which is in the description below. It's a paid course for 2 months that will be helping you to become more confident in spoken English. So do try it out after the class. Now with that, we're starting with our session. So over here we have the very first question, and if you can see over here we have the true and false. So basically what we have to do, we have the statement and then we have to rewrite them, right? Now these statement over here that we have, right, could be true or could be false. We have to read them, we have to identify them whether they are true or false, and if they are false, we have to rewrite them in correct way. Looks very easy, right? So let's make sure that we are doing it in a correct way. And of course, we'll be having a very quick recap. So getting started with the first statement we have over here. The statement is, stem absorb water and minerals from the soil. We know that this is false, right? We know that roots are the one that actually absorb the water and minerals from the soil, right? Stem is actually above the ground and it's over there. We have the branches, roots, leaves, etc. So now we know that stem is not helping in the absorption of water and minerals from the soil. Roots are doing that part. So yes, we are done with this. Now let's see the B part, and we have this very interesting question. Leaves uphold the plant upright. We know that leaves cannot hold the plant upright. We know that it's a job of the stem that does that. So it will be holding the plant upright. So this statement is false, and this is the correct statement that we have over here. Moving ahead to the third statement, what we have roots conduct water to the leaves. Roots conduct water to the leaf. We know that it's false, right? We know that stem is the one that actually actually takes the water from the roots to the different parts of the plant and especially to the leaves. So over here, this is the correct way in which we can write the answer. Over here we have the next statement which talks about the number of petals and stamen in a flower is always equal. Interesting, right? But we know that they're not equal. Petals are these beautiful colored parts, right? And they are the one that actually help in attracting the birds and the insect. Whereas stamen over here is a male reproductive part which consists of the anther and the filament. These two are completely different, right? And they're saying that they're always equal. We know that it's not correct. And over here we have the correct answer that in a flower, petals and sepals are usually equal. We cannot say that they're always equal, but usually they are equal. And over here we have the correct statement. I hope that you got this question. It's a little bit trickier, but I hope that you're paying attention to the class. And of course, I hope that you're noting down all the information. We have this video in a recorded way. It's basically a premium video so that you can completely focus on the important concepts and the question without any disturbance. So I hope that you are paying attention to it. Now we are done with this. Fourth question, right? Of course, a very interesting question, a trickier question. Let's see the next statement that we have. Again, we have a beautiful flower and the question talks about that if a sepal of a flower are joined together, again, the sepals of a flower are joined together, its petals are also joined together. This green color part is these are the sepals. So they are joined together. So the petals are also joined? We know that that's not correct. Not necessarily they'll be joined together. So the correct statement over here is that if the sepals of a flower are joined together, it's not that the petals are joined together. Very interestingly, we can rephrase our answer in a correct way, and over here we have. Moving to the last statement is that if the petals of a flower are joined together, then the pistil is also joined together to the petals. So we know the petals are this beautiful color part, right? And what is pistil? Pistil is nothing but the female reproductive system. It has the stigma, style and ovaries. So the question is very interesting, right? That if the petals of flower are joined together, then the pistil is also joined to the petals. We know that that's not a case, right? We know that if the petals of flower are joined together, its pistil are not necessarily joined together. So over here we have the correct answer. This is how you can write the answer in your examination if such type of question comes. And over here we have the final answer where we have all the 6 statement with the written correct way. So over here we have it. I hope that you got the answer, and with this we are done with the very first question, and now we are moving to question number 2, which is very, very interesting. Here we have what we have over here. We have the table from your textbook, which is 7.3 table. So what we have to draw a leaf, right, a taproot and a flower which you have studied. So the flower that we have studied over here is a rose flower, and this is how you can draw in the examination. Now, of course, when you talk about the leaf of the rose flower, it's not very smooth, right? So, of course, if you draw like this, right, it has these kind of edges, like it's not very smooth, right? So, we can draw in this way, and of course, we can have this way, right? Basically, they have those zigzag lines. It's not very smooth kind of leaf. So, of course, this is the midrib, right? And of course, we have the veins also. Right, of course, we have the petiole. Then the taproot. Now, of course, it has the taproot system. So, to make the taproot, it's very easy for us to do. Why? I'm just drawing over here so you can pay attention to it. For the taproot, we know that there will be one main root, right? There will be one main root. And from that main root, we will see that small roots are arising, right? Like this. There will be one main root. So, you can draw like this, and of course, you can label. Now comes a very important part to draw the flower. And over here, we're talking about the rose flower. And I know that it looks very beautiful, but sometimes it will be a little bit difficult to draw the flower. So what you can draw, see, the easiest way to draw the rose flower is like this. Right? Just you can draw these like in this way. Right? A little bit more of the curving. Right? And a little bit like this. Like this, right? This is how you can draw in the examination. It should look a little bit more similar to the, to the rose, but yeah, this is how you can draw it. So I hope that you got it right, and of course, you can draw it, and these are the 3 important things that we have. So here we have to draw, but we have the correct answer. Okay, so I hope that you have taken a note of it. You have to draw the leaf, then you have to draw the taproot and the flower. So in the leaf, you can you can label the midrib. Right, you can label the veins. Okay, in the taproot, of course, do make sure that you're mentioning the taproot, and of course, you can mention the name of the flower in this particular way. So I hope that you have taken a note of this. Let's move to the next question, which is question number 3. Now here we have, can you find a plant in your house or in your neighborhood which has a long but weak stem? This is a very important keyword we have in this question. The stem of that particular plant is very long, but it's really very weak. We have to write its name, and then we have to put the category which is fall into, right? So we have to name which category you will place it. So interesting question. So of course in our house or in our neighborhood, we have a very interesting, very common plant, I'm sure all of us have seen, is the money plant part. Money plant, right? So money plant have a long stem, but the stem is really very weak. That's why I'm sure you must have seen that we usually provide them a support of a rod, right? Or maybe with a thread, we just take it to a different distance. So over here, it has a very long stem, but a very weak stem. And so we have our answer, and of course we call them as the climbers. They are the climbers, right? So over here we have, we'll be placing them in this particular category. So here, how you can write the answer for this particular question in the examination. So yes, we have money plant, right, with a long and a weak stem, very important characteristic features. And then of course, then you can mention it is a climber. So with this, we are done with this question. Now let's see this question. Oh, it's a very easy question we have. What is a function of the stem? Super easy question and usually asked in the examination. What is the function of stem? We know that stem is present above the ground, right? Where roots are actually helping in holding the plant upright. Stem help in the transportation of food and water. It provides the structural rigidity to the plants and bear the different parts of plant like leaves, fruits, right? So these are the main function of the stem. So stem is really very important. It provides a structural rigidity and help in the transportation of food and water and bear different parts of a plant. Very easy question, and this is how you can frame the answer. Please make sure to write your answer in the points, and if possible, write, just make sure that, you're just, putting up the underlined part. Over here we have, it actually helps in the transportation of the food, right, and different parts, right, over here we have. So it actually help in the movement of the water from roots to leaves, very important, right, and stems also bear the various different part of the plants. Over here we have the answer with us, right. Now with this we are done with this question. Now let's move ahead to the next question, which is question number 5. It talks about which of the following leaves have reticulate venation. Very interesting question, right? Now we have wheat, we have tulsi, maize, grass, coriander, and China rose. So all of these that we're going to talk about that have the reticulate venation. So we have these plants which have the reticulate venation. Now reticulate venation is the type of venation where we can see the veins, right? And they're kind of in a network. They form a mesh kind of structure. They're present in a network together. So we have basil, we have coriander, and we have China rose where we have the reticulate venation. The other that we have the parallel venation where on the leaf, right, if we talk about on the leaf, we'll see that the veins will run parallelly to each other. That is the parallel venation. So here we have the examples of the reticulate venation. And if we go back to the question over here, we have it. So we can mention what is reticulate venation. It's a type of venation in which the veins and the veinlets are unevenly dispersed. And of course, throughout the whole lamina, and they produce a certain network together. And we have these basil, coriander, and China rose, which have the reticulate venation. Easy peasy question. I hope that you got it. It's a very commonly question asked in the examination. They can ask you to write a difference between the parallel venation and the reticulate venation also. So we should have the clarity and always remember the examples of it. Now let's move ahead to the next question we have. If a plant has fibrous root, what type of venation do its leaves have, right? Now when we talk about the fibrous roots, we know that they're very different from the tap root. So let's quickly look over here. The question is that if a plant has a fibrous root, what type of venation it has? So it's a hint over here. So the plant which have the fibrous root system, they usually have the parallel venation. So for example, we have the banana, right, which has a fibrous root system and the venation is parallel. So this is a very easy thing for all of us to relate to. So tap roots, reticulate venation, and fibrous roots, parallel venation. So here we have the answer with us, that if a plant has a fibrous root, the leaves has the parallel venation. For example, banana, we can mention the example of it, and then of course we can move ahead to the next question. I hope that you have noted down this point, but very, very important point between the parallel venation and the reticulate venation, taproot, and the fibrous roots. Over here, now we have question number 7. No, very quickly we are over here. If a plant has leaves with a reticulate venation, a very similar question that we have just seen, right? Very similar question. If a plant has a reticulate venation, what kind of root will it have? I'm sure you know the answer. The plant will have the tap root. So tap root and reticulate venation goes together. Over here we have the example of the carrot, right? In taproot, there's one main root, and from that one main root, we'll see the arising of the other small parts of the root, right? The other different roots that we have. The main root is at the center, and that's why we have the taproot. So whenever a plant have a taproot system, they always usually have the reticulate venation. So here we have the answer, and this is how you can write the answer in the examination. A very easy 2-marker or 1-marker question we have over here. Yes. Important point, you can always underline these important keywords that we have. Moving ahead to the next question. This question is done. Is it possible for you to find out whether a plant has a taproot or a fibrous root by looking at the impression of its leaves on a sheet of paper? What is the thing? If we have two plants, right, we have the parallel venation, we have the taproot and the fibrous root. And of course, if we have the impression of the leaves of these plants, we have the parallel venation and the reticular venation. Can we identify which plant belongs to which root? I think the answer is yes, right? Let's quickly look over here. So we have this, right? We know that monocot plants have fibrous roots and they have parallel venation. Example, of course, we have the banana. Then we have dicot plants, right? They have the taproot, and of course, we have the example of hibiscus or the China rose. So we can say that yes, we can, right? By the impression of the leaf, we can easily find out that it belongs to which type of root system, right? So here we have the fibrous roots. Remember, parallel venation, taproot, reticulate venation, monocot and the dicot. So with this, we have the answer. And this is how you can write the answer for this particular question in the examination. So yes, it is possible to find out whether the plant has a taproot or the fibrous roots by looking at the impression of the leaves, right? And a plant root has a parallel venation, and of course, it's a monocot, and it has a fibrous root system. So with this, we are done with this particular question. Now let's move ahead to the next question over here. What are the parts of flower? Very easy question right over here. So we have this. Now you can draw this particular flower in your examination, and we have 4 important roles, right? Four very, very essential parts of a flower. So we are starting with the sepals, which is a green color leaf-like structure that we have over here. It provides the protection to the birds, right? Then we have the petals, which are the colored part that actually help in attracting the insect for the pollination. Then we have stamen and the pistil. Now these are the essential parts of a flower, right? And stamen is nothing but the male reproductive system. It comprises of the anther and filament. And in the pistil, we have the female reproductive system. It comprises of the stigma, style, and the ovary and the ovule. Okay, so this is how you can write the answer in the examination. Make sure to draw the structure of the flower properly. Make sure to label them. Always when you're drawing a diagram and when you're putting the label onto it, try to make the diagram on the left side of a sheet and then the labelings on the right side. So this is how you can actually draw the flower in your examination, and of course you can write the important labelings and their function. Along with that, this is how you can write the answer. You can mention that sepals is the small leaf-shaped green colored and it is the most outermost part of the plant. Petals, of course, are bright color modified leaves that have surrounded the reproductive flowers, and they actually help in the pollination. Pistil, female reproductive part, and stamen, the male reproductive part. Very simple, we can write in this particular way, and this is the very easiest way to write this particular answer for this particular question. So with this, we are done with this, right? Now it's time for us to move to the next question. Now here we have the next question. The next question is that from the following parts, which of them have flowers? This is a very, very interesting question. And look over here, we have so many, the names of the different plants, right? So we have to find out that among these, which of these actually have the flower. So let's quickly talk about it. Most of them we talk about that all the plants that we have over here, right, bears actually flower. Like we have all of these, right, bears a flower. In some of them, the flowers might be a little bit smaller, but usually in the other plants, right, we'll be able to see them clearly. So here we have it. It's a very easy answer, right? It's a super, super easy answer. So we're done with this question, and now let's move ahead to the next question. Name a part of a plant which produce food, and we have to name the process. Easy question, right? We know that plants can make their own food. Yes? And we just have to name the process. So we know that plants perform photosynthesis, right? What happens? They take up the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, water from the roots in the presence of sunlight, and in which part of a plant? In leaves they have the chlorophyll, and of course a certain set of reactions occurs, and after that reaction we have the glucose, right? So that's very easy, and of course they release the oxygen. So we have the answer with us. Process name is photosynthesis, and where it is happening in a plant? Leaves. Over here we can frame our answer in such way. We can write that plants produce food in their leaves by the process of photosynthesis. And leaves, we can elaborate more on the leaves, that leaves, a green color part of a plant which contain chlorophyll. Very important, we can mention about the chlorophyll. And photosynthesis takes place inside the leaves with the help of sunlight, chlorophyll, water, and the atmospheric carbon dioxide or CO2. So this is how you can write your answer if this question comes in your examination. Now I'm sure this is a little bit trickier question. We have to connect few things together, but to make sure that you're writing all of these, and please do not forget to underline important keywords. They actually help us, the teacher, right, or the examiner, to know that you know the concept. So moving ahead from this question, the next question we have over here is that in which part of a flower you will find the ovary? Super easy question, right? So in a flower, we have the female reproductive system, which is a pistil or the carpel. We have the stigma, style, ovary, and the ovule, right? So of course, the question was then, of course, which part will be able to find this? And we know that we'll be able to find in the pistil, right? So ovaries is found in the lowermost part of the swollen part that we have of the pistil, which of course have the female reproductive part of the flower, right? And pistil is found in the innermost wall of the flower. So it's the innermost wall. Outside we have sepals, then we have petals, androecium, and the gynoecium or the female reproductive part. So this is a very easy question, right? And it's a one marker question. So I hope that you got this. Now what we have? We have very, very interesting question. I hope that you're paying attention. Over here we have an interesting question. Name two plants. You just have to name two plants. Which one has joint sepal? Okay, one plant which has joint sepal, the green part, the outermost part, and the other has separate petals. Okay, a very interesting question, right? So let's take a look over here. Again, if you look over here, it's a very easy question for 1 mark. We just have to give the examples of the plant. So here we have this. So in cotton and in dhatura, right, we have flowers with a joint sepal. So over here, we can see that the sepals are very joined to the flower, right, over here. Then, of course, we have rose and lotus, where the flowers have a separate sepals like this over here, right? We can see the green part, right? So we have the answer with us, right? Very easy, we have the answer with us. That is a plant with the joint sepals. We have the dhatura and the cotton. And plants with the separate sepals, we have the rose and the lotus. With this, we are done with all the questions from the NCERT exercise. I hope that you have enjoyed this session, and I hope that you have taken note of all the important points that we have discussed. We'll say bye-bye now, and as we always say, we have got you covered. If you have enjoyed this session, please make sure to hit the like button, share with your friends, and if you're watching this video for the very first time, do take a moment and subscribe to our amazing channel. We'll be meeting really very soon. Keep yourself healthy and keep yourself super engaged with learning, and keep on learning with Byju's. We'll be meeting really very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.